What's up, guys? JP coming at you for another episode of The Movement. We're going to be talking about, it's okay to be happy. There's a lot of stuff that's been going on and stuff. And to be honest with you, I'm going to be 100% transparent. This came to mind just sitting at this table with these guys, because I haven't laughed this hard in a while. We've been having a freaking ball sitting together, talking about stuff that's serious, but also talking about how silly some of the bullshit is that the general public deals with and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, we need more people walking around with a bounce. We need more people walking around with a smile on their face. We need more people walking, especially men. And our goal with everything that we're doing here is to empower men. And if we empower men, a bunch of happy men is far more conducive to a good environment than a bunch of stressed out men that don't know where the hell they're going. So I want to keep this very open, very fluid. I want to talk to you guys about kind of how you stay happy and stuff. I know that we just spent about 10-15 minutes laughing our freaking asses off about.
If you
stuff.
haven't seen Coming to America, go watch it.
Yes.
I don't care how old you are. You need to go see that movie.
I literally, when you were starting that's
man.
what I wanted to say. It was like,
That's it. That's it.
So good.
So, one of the things I want to talk about is like being able to find what excites you, like what makes you happy, man? Like what puts a smile on your face, and to be able to, I know we talked about this in a previous episode about letting things roll off your back, and letting shit go is what it's called. So go back and check that out, because that's a big part of being able to be happy. But I want to hear from you guys a little bit about, because everybody's stressed out about stuff. And I know in the previous episode, we talked about like, what happens if so-and-so gets elected? What happens if I get a flat tire? What happens if
you change it?
Yeah, right. And that's
or you sit there and piss on yourself. That's the two options.
Yeah, and that's the damn truth.
You changed like 5 in like 1 month.
Yeah, I was on a good little record there. I don't want to do that again.
I remember that.
I don't want to do that again.
It was literally like his 4th or 5th one in like 3 months.
I was glad I read a lot of books and a lot of good personal growth because I needed it.
So that's a great point. That's a good segue, because one of the things that I want you guys to dish on a little bit is, and I see you guys with smiles on your face all the time. Every time I see you guys,
especially Wilson,
Wilson's just blissfully happy.
I'm always happy.
But every time I see you guys are happy. We have a good time. We end up laughing. My abs are sore for the next couple of days and stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is, you guys don't have an easy life. There's nothing easy about what you guys do. If anything, you guys probably have a more strenuous life than a lot of people that are out there. I would say that you guys are well above average from your productivity and strain on your life. I know with just the nature of what you're in, Wilson, it's a stressful environment. Cameron, I know that you grind all day long, and you're a sole provider in your area as well. So I understand that there's stress and things of that nature, so I want to make sure that everybody gets a little bit of perspective on how do you guys keep joy and happiness in your life and bouncing your feet?
Well, I mean, it's basically how you start your day, just your mental. What do you allow in your mind? I mean, we all are getting attacked every single day. You have stuff that's coming at you all the time, and you get to decide what you keep and what you take and what you put in. It's kind of like that sharpen cart mentality. But you got to stay on the positive side of everything. Like literally anything that I think of is typically positive. And if it is a negative thought, which I've had those negative thoughts like everybody else in this world, when the shit doesn't go the way you want it to go, you can kind of have a little bitty pity party moment, but should only last for a few seconds. You're allowed to have that, and it's normal. But you can't let it just defeat you. Just like what we were talking about in the last episode. If somebody wins this election and it's not your candidate, it doesn't mean that the world is stopped and you're just done. So just staying positive, just mentally thinking of anything. Like even if you're swimming in shit, try to think of something that you can,
just keep your mouth closed.
Yeah, definitely, please.
Don't smile.
You can be happy and not show it on your face.
Yeah, but have something in mind that's going to keep you going through those hard times first off. But then at the same time, find something good in it. Know that you're going to grow from it. I was talking to somebody who we were asking, just like getting some feedback about like what are some things you want us to talk about or whatever, and he was talking about growing himself and being uncomfortable through that process and how to get better with the being uncomfortable. And if you think about success in general, which breeds typically happiness. I don't think anybody who's not successful is not happy. I mean, you might have some emptiness and some things that you need to do soul-searching wise, but you're still got the monetary things that makes you happy, and you get to enjoy those times with your family and the people you love. But the fact of the matter is, your success, you can't have success without some type of shit or some type of something that you have to go through to endure it. Because if not, I mean, everybody would be successful. It'd be too easy. And that doesn't appeal to people, not people who are of championship mindset, people who want to win in life and just do something great. You have to have something to challenge you, and that challenge brings you to a point in life that you're better, and you become better. And every time you defeat something, you get to look back and say, dude, I just did something. And that gives you a boast of confidence. It gives you a boast of happiness because you just accomplished something that you probably thought you never would be able to do. And you've stretched yourself, and congratulations, now you've grown. Well, that's those baby steps throughout your entire life. All those little decisions add up and become successful. And it depends on what you're looking to go after, what you're looking to accomplish. You can't just take somebody else's life and say, I want to do that. Well, no, you might not be successful in that arena, or also you might not be happy in that arena. You got to find something that you're good at, that you enjoy, that brings happiness to you. And sometimes it takes a lifetime to probably find that. You're always searching. It's not just, you found it. Okay, now it's done. No, you got to continue to expand on that until it grows into something that you can, share with other people in your community. There's a lot of different things, but typically my main thing is I just focus on the positive stuff. And if there's something, you have your bad days, yeah, but the next day is better. You think that tomorrow's going to be better. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm happy all the time, just because I know tomorrow, if it sucks today, it's going to be better tomorrow.
And sometimes you just have to be in a headspace like Wilson, where you just don't think that deep, and it's it's easy to be happy, very surface level. And I say that kind of kidding, but kind of true. You just don't get bogged down with things. Yeah. And I admittedly, I have been in seasons of life, not for long periods of time, but certainly have been in those seasons where I was allowing things to affect my attitude, and I was allowing things to affect my happiness or my joy. And I say that very intentionally, using those words. I was allowing that to happen. That was me, not controlling my attitude and probably not controlling my actions in a lot of ways. So I think you nailed it. I mean, how do you stay happy? It's what you focus on. It's what you choose to focus on. I tell our kids this. I tell a lot of different people this. Somebody said the other day, a friend of mine on social media said, he just posted, and I was a little surprised because this guy is really like a real joyful, happy guy. He always has been. But he just posted, I'm tired of being tired. And I responded and said, so stop being.
Yeah.
And we kind of had a conversation back and forth, and I said, no, what I'm saying is stop telling yourself you're tired. Mm-hmm. Choose to not be tired. I was like, you're not. Like, we don't, and I said in the post, I was like, we don't even use the T word at our house. My kids are not allowed to use that word. Now, if you're sleepy, then you're sleepy. I get that. But we don't use the T word because I believe that's a mentality. And I said, it's all in your head. And it was cool because there was an alderman or something. Sorry, go ahead.
Can you extrapolate on the difference between sleepy and tired?
Yeah, I mean, sleepy is your body obviously and your mind get to a point of exhaustion. And I think that even can be controlled more than you think it can. But say for a kid, they're going to get to a point where it's like it's time for them to get some rest. It's time for them to get some sleep. So they're sleepy. But tired is a mentality. Tired is I'm tired of trying, is the way I kind of look at it. Like put it this way, it's too hard. So tired can be an excuse or it can be an out. If it's a physical realm, like you're working out, you're like, I'm tired. No, you're not mentally strong enough, right? Now there's certainly a point where you're like, that's what I got. I gave everything I got. So I'm maybe exhausted, but I'm not tired. I have exhausted all my energy, but I'm not tired. If it's, a relationship thing, people might say, well, I'm tired. This is wearing me down. I'm tired. It's like, no, you're not trying hard enough. I don't know. I don't know if I'm explaining it very well, honestly, but I just believe that I believe it's more of a mentality than an actual physical thing.
Right. I agree with that.
And, it was neat because in that post, this person, who apparently is an alderman in their community, I don't know him, but he used what I said and posted it out just on his social media, and I responded to it. Said, I like what you're saying, you know. And he's like, well, yeah, because I got it from what you said. Not that it was me. I learned that from somebody else too, right? But it was cool because I think it was the first time he looked at it from that perspective, and he said, you're right. Like, it's all in my mind on how if I choose to have bounce or if I choose to be tired, right? I don't even like saying it as much as we're saying it on here, but just for context. So it's what you focus on for sure. And there's two things you can control. We say it all the time: is attitude and action, right? And so again, going back to last episode, going back to a bunch of episodes, like whatever's happening around you doesn't really matter. You know, you can decide to attack the day how you want to, or not even the days that you're not attacking. Certainly, there are days where you're rejuvenating or having some downtime with the family or whatever. It's just as important, if not more important, to be happy and joyful in those moments. You know, when I have a Sunday where it's just like, there's no agenda today. It's just, let's be with the kids. Let's be with the wife. And listen, I'm admitting to the world, I'm not 100% good at this all the time because I have a tendency for my mind to want to be what I believe is productive in pursuing something all the time. And I have to make sure that I can turn that off. And there was a time early on when I was starting a family where I would get negative when it was time to just do family stuff because I was so used to being single and just going all the time that I had to be reminded, sometimes through some pretty strong conversations with my wife, that, hey, listen, you got to turn it off, And so then I'd turn it off, but then I'd be mad about it, because I felt like I wasn't being productive. Then I came to realize that I'm being super productive because I'm being a dad and I'm being a husband, and there's still times I have to remind myself of those things, but like those times when you're just chilling, you can choose to have a good attitude too, right? And probably even more so. From a man perspective, I should say, we say this all the time too. You're the anchor for your family, so they're going to do as you do. So if you have a good attitude, if you're happy, if you have bounce, they're gonna tend to be the same way. When I say they, I mean your wife and your kids. If it's the opposite of that, and I've been caught plenty of times where I wasn't bouncing and I didn't have a good attitude, and I saw it rubbing off on my children, or my wife or whatever, and it's a gut check, and you go, hey, listen, shit might be hitting the fan, or I might be swimming in shit, as Wilson said.
Don't stop.
But hey, hold your nose and put a smile on your face.
And keep going.
Because it will get better. When's the last time it didn't? Is a good question to maybe ask yourself. When's the last time it didn't get better if you really wanted it to, right? And lastly, so I don't just go forever here because I know JP's got other questions. Go back to an episode called Your Purpose is Whispering. I believe when you really start to identify your purpose in life, there's not even just happiness, it's joy, because it's peace, and you're living and walking in your giftedness and the things that you're supposed to be doing, the purpose that you're here on this planet for. When you start finding that stuff, you just play on a different level. You have a different presence about you, different aura about you. And people can sense that, and people are happier around you because you are living in your sweet spot, so to speak. So go check out that episode. I think that'll help too.
One of my favorite things to always think about is this too shall pass. Eventually, the things will pass and get by. And the cool thing is that when you focus on what is to come, if you don't have anything to focus on, that's where it gets dark.
That's huge.
And that's huge. Like, because you get in a dark spot and you have no hope.
That's where goals come in handy.
Yeah. So that's why we emphasize that so much, that you have to have those goals, those ambitions in life, because when stuff does happen, because it's going to, if you don't have nothing to focus on, no light in the darkness, you're going to feel like you swallowed up, and that's when bad decisions happen. And I've been in that situation, and this being transparent, I've actually had those thoughts, and I had to think through it. I had to think through it of go, okay, so if I do this, is it going to benefit or is it going to hurt the people around me that I love? And every time, hands down, it was going to hurt more than it was going to help. Because we had some life insurance and stuff like that, and it was like, all right, well, the kids, family, everybody would be kind of taken care of. But when you really think about all the people that you're going to hurt in the process of you not being there and that emptiness, that's huge, man. So if you're in a position where you're in so darkness right now, dude, reach out. Let us be your light. Let us be the person that can speak life into you and find a way out of your darkness. And the cool thing is, if you make it out of that darkness, you're going to be a bad motherfucker. And you're gonna be able to say, I've done some shit and I've been through shit that nobody else has done, and you can be a light to somebody else in the same darkness.
For sure. Yeah. Well, and some other the great sayings that I like is you said which one?
This too shall
pass. Count it all joy.
Oh yeah.
Is a great. It's like if you just sometimes you just need to hang your hat on something. Just remind yourself, count it all joy.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that. Even if it's bad, count it all joy. It's all go if you're focusing on it the right way. And then the other one's kind of neat. Joy comes in the morning.
Yep.
Hey, it's a shitty day. Go to sleep.
Yeah, seriously.
Wake up and try again tomorrow.
Yep.
Right?
Try again.
That's great. So I'm going to tell you, just from a bottom line kind of standpoint. So I'm a big fan of Mike Rowe. I don't know if you guys know him or not, but
who? Mike Rowe.
Yeah.
I heard Micro, like Microsoft or Micro Machines.
Yeah, you said that a little too fast.
Sorry. So I've always been and if you haven't watched Dirty Jobs and stuff like that, you should go check it out. Actually, here, let me rephrase that. Dirty Jobs doesn't have anything to do with this. Well, it does kind of. But Mike Rowe has a lot to do with this. And I think what has robbed happiness in men today is the lie that has been told that you have to go to college and have a white-collar career to be successful in life.
Yep.
And the reason that this hits so close to home for me from a joy standpoint is because I've been on both sides of the fence. I've had my hands greasy as can be, slinging parts and things of that nature. I've crawled up underneath machines that have hydraulic fluid leaked out all over the place, repairing, fixing things and stuff like that. And I've been on the complete opposite side of things, making decisions that are worth millions upon millions of dollars at a corporate level. And I'm going to tell you right now, some of the most enjoyment that I have ever got in my life was from fixing shit.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, I believe that there's a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people out there that probably do, and I'm speaking to the men out there. There are men out there that probably do get enjoyment from a corporate kind of standpoint, like winning that sale or doing that thing like that. That may be their thing. But I think all men, at the root of your soul, when you build shit, you feel good. Oh, yeah. I don't care if it's a birdhouse. When you build shit, you feel good, but for some odd reason, society has told us a lie that is a lesser man. A man that works with his hands is a lesser man than the man that sits in an office. And for some odd reason, they've glorified the office. And I don't know, and I'm just speculating that college is a business. If you don't think it's a business,
speculating.
Go look at their. Well, I'm speculating where the root cause of all this is. Okay. College is a business. Go check it out. Go look at their financials and stuff like that. Yeah. If you want your mind to be blown, go and look at the endowment in a lot of these schools. The endowment's unbelievable at a lot of these schools. So they're businesses. So their goal is to teach you that it's more important to be sitting in an office than it is to be fixing machines or be an electrician or skilled trades, period. And I think that has robbed a lot of happiness from men because at the core, don't get me wrong, your kids are going to make you happy. Your kids are going to make you cry. Your wife is going to make you happy. She's going to make you cry. But there is a core need for every man to build shit. And I know that seems really silly. But it's something that I think is missing in a lot of men in today. When's the last time you built a big fire and you were upset?
Never.
Oh,
never.
But that's
every time I build one, I feel better.
Yeah. But you don't have to have a college education to do that.
Well, sometimes I feel like it might help.
The other night.
But the perfect image that comes to mind is Castaway when he goes, "Look what I have created."
Oh yeah,
I have made fire.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I think one of those lies that's been told to men out there, and what I'm saying is, if you're in a corporate job, don't quit your corporate job. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, get back to your roots somewhere. You can gain some happiness by building some stuff. Go build some beds for your kids. Go cut some wood. Go do some things that are manly at the core, and you'll feel good about yourself. You'll start to create some happiness in your life. I promise you. That's why we talk about building fires all the time. I guarantee you at the core, there's nothing better than sitting in a chair, sipping on some whiskey or a beer, whatever you prefer, looking at a fire that you just built.
But only those two things.
But that's it.
Only those.
That's it.
Have beer or whiskey.
And looking at a fire that you built. So I want you, like, that was one of the things, like, prove me wrong. Right. It was not a question. It was a statement. I believe college has ruined happiness in men today.
Yeah.
I can agree. I can agree with that. Yeah. Or the demands of life, inflation, people saying you have to keep up with the Joneses, you have to have all these different things.
Yeah, I was going to say the expectations. Of what you're being sold that you think you should be as a man.
Yeah. Especially that. And I think it's your own personal desires. Some people have their desires are too far stretched. Like they want millions of dollars when they could be happy with just a couple $100,000. And not meaning that you don't need to go after that, because you can be a person of impact if you do that.
So Gary Vee made a statement about that. I remember Gary Vee was talking about people being happy and being unhappy and stuff. And he said, I talked to some of the most unhappy people I've ever seen in my life, and they make $150,000 a year. He's like, dude, if you make six figures, like, you're making good money. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that you should settle if you can do better, but stop being upset about it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Put things into perspective.
It's because they're looking at somebody else and they think that they have to be that. They're not looking inside and saying, hey, I'm happy with myself. And
that's a big point, too. Like, the real joy and happiness is going to come from within and who you are as a person, not who you are compared to another person.
Correct.
That will mess you up, because you will always compare your worst to their best.
Yeah.
You're always going to compare their highlight reel to your bad day. You know, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You don't know what kind of relationships they have. You don't know what kind of, shit's hitting the fan in their household when nobody's looking. I mean, I promise you, like, we've all been there. We've all been like, oh, that'd be nice. I mean, that's just human nature. You're envious to some degree. But, man, don't ever wish to trade places with somebody, because you have no idea, man. You have no idea. I hear dudes, I don't really hear it that much, but I know that it's been the case where, like, dudes can have the tendency, like, man, I wish I was with that girl. I wish I was with that girl. Man, don't wish that shit. Listen, man, and listen, I don't mind saying I don't mind saying it because my wife, I don't mind saying it. Who cares? We're not going to filter stuff on here. If you get offended by it, just get over it. My dad gave me some wisdom years ago, and I may have shared this on here, but I was 33 before I met my wife, and I got married soon after that, like 3 months after that. But for a long time, I think I was looking for this. I wouldn't say the perfect girl, but I was looking for something that probably wasn't realistic. Mm-hmm. I had a tendency, like, I'd go on a date, and it'd be like one date was all I needed.
Yeah,
I'd be like, nope.
You know what
now,
you're looking for.
Part of that is that's kind of my natural tendency. Like we were talking about, test driving trucks. I could drive one and be like, nah, it's cool, but it's not the one I want.
Yeah.
Houses, same thing. What any kind of stuff like that. And you're like, nah, that's not it. But my dad told me something. He's like, dude, you're trying to find somebody that's like not crazy or something. He's like, they're all crazy. Like, you got to get a different, and he doesn't mean this in a derogatory way. Women are different than men. Women can say the same thing about men. Men are all crazy.
Right.
We all have our tendencies, but you just got to find one that is the right one for you. Like, you got to find the crazy that you can handle. And my wife knows. She knows my dad very well, and he would say it in front of her, and I've said it in front of her. Listen, y'all all crazy. Y'all crazy as I would say. Y'all crazy as hell. But I love my wife, and she may be crazy as hell, but I ain't trying to trade. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, God put us together for a reason. Yeah. Right? There's a purpose there that's bigger than either one of us individually. So if you think I would be happier with this other spouse, man, you're out of your mind, dude. Like, that is a dangerous place to go in your brain. Dangerous place to go in your brain, and you need to get off that train real quick. Like, if you have those thoughts or those tendencies, you need to. Honestly, the best thing for you to do is to have your best friend or somebody that you are open with have that conversation. Be like, you know what? There's some dangerous things going on in my head, and I need some help talking through it. Mm-hmm. Because I am not happy in my marriage right now, or I'm not happy at my job right now, and I'm about to make some bad decisions unless somebody talks me off the ledge. Right. And I know you said, like, it's okay to be happy, and we're talking about how dumb it is to be sad. It's kind of the same topic.
Well, so I'm kind of glad you went that direction, because that was the next direction that I wanted to go was on simplicity, and we talked about this before. And I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but it was a picture of a guy sitting there, and he was in some like lawn furniture that was in his living room with his feet kicked up on a coffee table that was about as cheap as can be, and there was a TV sitting on a box with a game on.
That's all I need.
And a girl had commented on it, and she said, "See, guys, this is not okay." And the guy, or another guy, commented on it, and he said, "See, the thing that drives you guys crazy is how simple it is to make us happy."
Yep.
And that's where I feel like we've gone down the wrong path, because for some odd reason, men believe there's some kind of complex equation to happiness. Nope. And as a man, it's very simple, to be happy. And that's why I believe, just in my opinion, that working with your hands, so I have some guys that come to me, because I work with some skilled trades guys. I work with a lot of skilled trades guys and stuff. And they go, I don't know how you don't go freaking crazy doing what you do. I said, I go to the gym and I kick my ass every day.
Exactly right.
But that's the truth.
Yep.
That's how I stay sane.
Yep.
I put calluses on my hands. That's how I stay sane. That's where I find my peace, is sitting in the gym. If I'm not in the gym, I'm a grumpy motherfucker.
Yep.
I promise you I'm a grumpy motherfucker, because I don't feel like I'm accomplishing stuff because I don't do it with my hands. And men are simple, man. Mm-hmm. When it comes to simple, men are very simple. And I want to read this quote real quick that I got from Mike Rowe. He said, "The satisfactions of manifesting oneself concretely in the world through manual competence has been known to make a man quiet and easy. They seem to relieve him of the felt need to offer chattering interpretations of himself to vindicate his worth. He can simply point, the building stands, the car runs, and the lights are on. Boasting is what a boy does, because he has no real effect on the world. But the tradesman must reckon with the infallible judgment of reality, where one's failures or shortcomings cannot be interpreted any way. His well-founded pride is far from the gratuitous self-esteem that educators would impart to students as though by magic." So it's super deep. It's super deep, but it's true. It's one of those things where it's like, you either did it or you didn't.
Yep.
Right.
You either do or you don't. There is no maybe. You either do or you don't, kind of thing. It's not a politician. You can't just, it's up to interpretation and stuff. I think that's why men tend to be better in the math department, because it's either you got the answer or you didn't get the answer. Yep. It's not, you didn't convey what you were saying correctly.
Communicate the answer
and stuff
properly.
like that. And that's what I'm saying. I think
it's like the ultimate trash talk. I see all these athletes talking trash. And when I was coming up playing sports, I went to a small school, so I had the opportunity to play. I think I lettered in 4 or 5 different sports. And don't get over impressed. It was a tiny school. They needed warm bodies in a lot of cases.
That's a big freaking deal.
Yeah, it's a huge deal, man. I was a 4-sport letterman. I got the jacket to prove it. Never wore it. But I do appreciate that experience, because for a lot of different reasons. But my point is, people would talk trash, and I enjoy doing that from time to time. But ultimately, when it came down to it, I'd just say, look at the scoreboard. Mm-hmm. And what you just said made me think of that is, the house stands, the car runs, the lights are on. Look at the scoreboard. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who's really winning?
Right.
You're probably chattering because you're losing.
That's exactly right. You're justifying your existence. Yeah. And if you ever have to justify your existence as a man, you lose. Like, you are losing in your mind. If your wife,
which is why you're not happy.
If your wife tells you the lights aren't working outside, and you go out there and you fix light bulbs, as simple as that job is, when you walk back inside, you look out there and go, the lights are on. There's nothing you can say that doesn't justify what I just did.
I changed
that's happiness.
The AC return, the filter. Yeah. We got 2 of them, one upstairs, one downstairs. I changed them the other day. I swear I talked about it for half an hour.
I'm telling you right now.
It's like the simplest thing ever. And I'm like, babe, it's a 2 by whatever. And
I'm not saying that you're not going to have complicated stuff approach you in your life, and you're not going to have to do complicated stuff as a man to reach the level of success that you want. But what I'm saying is, the true joy should come from the little things in your life that you do. Like, work with your hands. Stop paying people to do the little shit. Mm-hmm. Do it yourself. Mm-hmm. As a man, do it yourself. Like, stop paying people to do shit. Like, go do it.
Unless you're really bad at it and know where the limit is.
Right. Don't go rewire your house.
Yeah.
If you're not an electrician, don't go rewire your house.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, and this is one of the main reasons, and I've come to this reality myself just from being in the trades world, moving into engineering and corporate and stuff like that. I was happier as a tradesman than I am now.
Oh, yeah.
As far as career-wise. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some benefits, as far as compensation. There are some areas in there where I'm very happy with where I'm at. It provides for my family, but I have to find that happiness in a different area. So I find it from building with my kids. I build beds with my kids. I cut shit. I let my kids, hammer a nail into a piece of wood. That satisfies me in a weird kind of way.
Yep.
Like in a very weird kind of way. Like we talked about it before, Cam, where my goal is to build a huge shop that has 4 bays with 2 lifts in it, buy an old car, tear that bitch to the bones, and build it back up like a old 50s Chevy truck. You talk about happiness.
Yep.
That's where happiness comes from, in my opinion. That's where I feel happiness comes from. You have to have that simple, because then you can stand out there when you have that shiny ass truck sitting in the driveway. You talk about changing a filter and talking about it for 20 minutes. You'll talk about that truck for the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah,
right.
Just sit out there and go, I built that from the ground up, which to a woman probably doesn't mean that much. That's a nice looking truck. I'd sit in it. But it doesn't mean that much. But to you, that's huge.
I get this way, and this might sound a little more feminine, but not so. When I get to make something like in the kitchen, when I get to cook something badass.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah,
and I'm talking like chef stuff, not like baking.
You're building. You're building something with your hands.
But and there's the flavor behind it and the presentation behind it, and like Tanya, early in our marriage, she was just kind of like, if I did breakfast, it was always like, because this is what my mom did, and my family on my mom's side, like all the dudes were helping out and like grilling the meat and doing this kind of stuff. But then it was the presentation of it. And like when we did meals, it was like, damn, not only does it taste good, but it looks awesome. You know, and so I'd do, lay the plates out and have everything organized, because to me, it's like you're creating, it's your opportunity to create a moment of joy and a memory, even if it's just a meal, right? So same kind of thing, but like I was picturing, like my dad is mechanical. He could take cars apart, put them back together. I know the gist of it, and I get it. I don't know that I want to build one from the ground up, but I love having them and then teaching my kids how to drive them.
Yeah.
So like a different type of, this is what we can accomplish with that machine.
Right.
Or whatever. So you got to find out what your thing is. If it's exactly not cars, it doesn't have to be cars, but figure out what your thing is. Taking the kids camping, showing them how to build a fire, showing them how to put a tent up, like all this kind of different stuff.
But what you find as a common denominator there is building stuff. Yeah. And that's what I wrote down here. Use your hands, build stuff. It's a natural means of accomplishment for a man. Yep. And building stuff can be anything. It could be building a meal. I mean, shit, Mr. Producer over here bragged about his damn pasta dish that he made for months. That was at least 10 years. I know it was only 3 years ago, but I feel like he bragged about it for 10 years. No, it did look good, though. It was good stuff. But anything. I mean, fire, cars, house, whatever it may be. You build a shed or a dog house for your dog. You're probably going to brag about it to the extent that it's like, I know the guy that built the house did a pretty good job, but if I would have built this house, there's a certain sense of that. And that's where I think, a lot of true happiness was.
Hell, I built the shed door and I showed it off to you right when you got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at this. I built this.
That's right.
I opened it and it shut.
Look at that.
Nice and
you know what you didn't show me?
What?
All the documents that you wrote and stuff for all the loads that you had to move back and forth for the company.
Hell no.
Right.
Who wants to see that bullshit?
For sure.
I mean, let's be honest.
I didn't show you any of the contracts I wrote
That's
for
exactly right. Yeah, you didn't. Yeah.
Look at this. We made so and so much money. It was so exciting.
Right. Yeah. And that's what it is. Right. You got to find that joy.
So I think that's really important. I think it's cool. I mean, you guys got anything else on?
Well, and I'm just thinking too, like even the other side of it, from more of an artistic point of view, like people that write music.
Sure,
like
absolutely.
That same kind of thing. Like when you've created something musically, vocally or instrumentally or whatever, man, that's a cool thing that you can be proud of. But it's the same idea. You built that. You know? Even from from a technical standpoint, if you write code or if you write but you're doing it because you're creating something. That's ultimately what it comes down to. You're creating it with your mind and with your hands.
Yep.
Whether it be a doghouse or a video game,
yep.
It's all that creation. It's not just task. Completing tasks that were given to you,
or managing tasks
for other people that aren't happy either.
That's exactly right.
Right. What's worse than being unhappy running a task? Managing the people that are doing the tasks that are unhappy.
That's exactly right.
Lord have mercy. It's compounded unhappiness.
And that's the truth. And that's what I'm getting at. Like if you're a manager and you're very good at managing people and stuff like that, then that's awesome. I'm telling you to walk away from your job and go be an electrician. But what I'm saying is, if you're not happy and you're stressed out constantly in your life, go work out. Go lift some weight. Go make accomplishment there. Go, find something that you can build. Buy some wood and get a saw or something like that. And I'm going to tell you right now, for God's sakes, if you're a man and you don't have tools at your house, Get some tools, man. And I'm not saying that because you're a pussy because you don't have tools. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that is your doorway to happiness.
Try it.
I'm telling you, just try it. It's like sex, man. You go out there and you build something. Yeah. I'm gonna get in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Where's the spoon?
Where's the tool?
Yeah. But I'm telling you right now, and that's something that my dad told me years ago, because I had some tools and stuff. My dad was like, well, do you have tools? And I was like, yeah, I got this, and this. And he was like, like you could hear the disappointment. Because my dad's a tradesman his whole life. You know, he hung iron, he welded. Like, he's got all the things. And he was like, oh, my God, a man has to have tools, you know. And, you know, he got me some stuff and everything. And since then, I've accumulated things and stuff. But, man, dude, there's nothing like, you know, the beds that my kids sleep on, I built them from scratch. You know, that bought 2x4, went to Lowe's, did the whole thing and stuff. But the end goal or the end result is joy and stuff like that. And in the process, it's joy. Plus, you can teach your kids. Obviously, It's always good, too. So you guys got any other...
No, it's great.
Put on that.
I agree.
So I think, yeah, and like I said, I'm not telling you if you got a corporate job to walk away from it and stuff like that. I think it's great. If you got a corporate job and you're really kicking ass, you've climbed the ladder, you're doing well, providing for your family and stuff like that, that's awesome. But what I'm saying is, if you're stressed or you're unhappy, go do some things with your hands. Put some calluses on your hands, and I promise you, joy will start to return back to your life. It will start to come back into your life because as a man, it is your natural tendency to gain joy from simple things in life. I'm telling you right now, it's from simple things in life. I promise you, I've lived both sides of the coin. So with that, we're going to wrap things up, man. Go check some of that stuff out. And if you don't have a dog, get a damn dog. Okay, because a dog is another.
This is where we can agree to disagree.
Is another area of joy. You sit there for a minute if you're stressed out. And you take a dog and you pet them. Not a shitty dog, a good dog. Go get a good dog. Let me rephrase that. Get a good dog, not a shitty dog.
A lot of people would say my dog is a good dog.
Who?
I mean, seriously, like, even me not being a dog person, he actually really is. I mean, he's not a bad dog. I just.
Yeah, but see, that's and even you, the dog hater of the world.
I'm not a
dog
hater,
but
not
you're
hater.
like
they just have a proper place.
You're loving on the dog and stuff like that. But no, for real, I'm gonna tell you, I've got a dog. I'm a dog guy, but you know, going and petting my dog, and when I'm in stressful situations, there's something about releasing endorphins and things of that nature. It calms me down. Makes things good. So go get a damn dog. That's my opinion. I've got the microphone. You have to listen to it. But outside of that, guys, I think men need to get back to working with their hands. I believe that. You can work a corporate job. You can be blue collar. You can be a freaking CEO of one of the biggest companies in the world, but put your hands on something. Like, put your hands on something if you want to be happy. So with that, man, y'all go check out our stuff. We are across all the social media platforms and stuff, but leave some reviews for us. We'd like to hear what you think. You know, do you like it? You don't like it? Whatever it may be, leave some comments and stuff. We appreciate all the followers out there that we have. It's growing like crazy. It's really kind of mind-boggling about people all over the globe following what we're doing. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. At first, we were up and down about the whole apparel side of things. We didn't know if we wanted to push apparel and things of that nature. But I'll tell you what, if it gets the word out there and it gets people to become better or represent what we believe a true gentleman is, then I'm all about it. So, you know, as just with that being said, we've got some really cool shit coming out. Just to be honest with you,
really
I've seen some previews of some stuff that we'll have coming out on some apparel and stuff, and I will be wearing it everywhere that I go. It's pretty exciting. So we'll have that available on our website, shepherdsof.men. You guys can go in there and check all that stuff out. But with that being said, guys, go get some calluses on your hands and part of the movement.